Tonight, as you lie down and allow the noise of the day to fade, I want you to hear this truth clearly. Your life is always responding to the conversations you have with yourself. Right now, in this quiet moment, you are planting seeds. Not with your hands, but with your thoughts, your beliefs, and your emotions. Most people rush through their days and collapse into sleep without intention. But those who transform their lives understand this. The moments before sleep are sacred. This is when your mind is open. This is when your heart is listening. This is when change takes root. You may not see it yet, but something powerful is already unfolding within you. Every challenge you've faced has been shaping your strength. Every delay has been preparing your clarity. Every disappointment has been guiding you back to yourself. You were never meant to live in survival mode forever. You were meant to grow, to heal, to rise, gently, purposefully, fully. Tonight, release the weight you've been carrying. Release the belief that you are late. Release the idea that you must have everything figured out. You don't. Life is not asking you to be perfect. It's asking you to be present. Forgive yourself for what you didn't know before you knew better. Honor yourself for how far you've come. And trust that what is meant for you is finding its way. Quietly, steadily, lovingly. As you drift into sleep, remind yourself, I am safe, I am guided, I am growing, even when I rest. Tomorrow will meet you differently, not because the world changed overnight, but because you did. And when you listen to words like these night after night, something remarkable happens. Your fear softens, your confidence strengthens, your life begins to align. So sleep peacefully, dream boldly, and trust deeply, because the version of you that you are becoming is already proud of the courage you showed today. Every thought you entertain, especially in moments of quiet, carries power. Your mind is not just a place where ideas pass through. It is a creative force that is constantly shaping your reality. Long before actions take form, thoughts lay the foundation. What you repeatedly tell yourself becomes the lens through which you see the world, and eventually the world responds in kind. Most people underestimate how deeply their inner dialogue influences their life. They believe change happens only through hard work, struggle, or dramatic breakthroughs. But the truth is far more subtle and far more profound. Change begins in the invisible space of thought. The way you speak to yourself silently, the beliefs you repeat without questioning, and the emotions you attach to your thoughts are all instructions being sent to your subconscious mind. Your subconscious does not argue, it does not analyze, and it does not judge. It simply accepts. Whatever you consistently feed it, it begins to treat as truth. If your thoughts are filled with doubt, fear, or self-criticism, your life will quietly arrange itself around those beliefs. Opportunities may feel limited, confidence may feel distant, and joy may seem conditional. Not because the world is against you, but because your inner narrative is setting the tone. This is why nighttime thoughts are so important. As the day ends and the mind begins to slow down, your subconscious becomes more receptive. The mental barriers that normally protect old beliefs soften, making this the most powerful time to influence your inner world. What you think before sleep does not just fade away, it sinks deep. It becomes a blueprint your mind works on while you rest. When you choose calming, intentional, and empowering thoughts at night, you are choosing the life you want to wake up to. You're telling your mind that safety exists, that growth is possible, and that you are worthy of good things. Over time, these messages reshape your emotional responses, your decisions, and your expectations from life. It's important to understand that this process is not about forcing positivity or denying pain. True transformation does not come from pretending everything is perfect. It comes from awareness. When you notice a negative thought, you do not fight it, you gently replace it. You shift from I'm not enough to I am learning and growing. From nothing ever works out for me to I am open to better outcomes. These small shifts repeated consistently, create powerful change. Your life listens not just to what you say out loud, but to what you whisper to yourself in silence. Those quiet moments are where your self-worth is built or broken. When you treat yourself with compassion in your thoughts, your nervous system relaxes. When your nervous system feels safe, your creativity, clarity, and courage expand. Over time, you may notice that situations begin to feel different. You respond instead of reacting. You trust yourself more. You feel guided rather than lost. This is not magic, it is alignment. Your inner world and outer life begin to speak the same language. So tonight and every night, be mindful of the thoughts you carry into sleep. Let them be gentle. Let them be honest. Let them be hopeful. Because your life is listening, always responding, always shaping itself around the story you choose to believe. In a world that constantly demands your attention, stillness often feels unfamiliar, even uncomfortable. Silence is usually mistaken for emptiness, but in truth, it is fullness. It is the space where your mind stops racing, your heart slows down, and your soul finally has room to breathe. Healing does not announce itself loudly. It arrives quietly, gently, in moments when you allow yourself to pause. Most emotional wounds are not caused only by what happened to you, but by what you never had time to process. Life moves fast, and people are encouraged to keep going, to stay strong, to move on without ever sitting with their feelings. Unspoken pain does not disappear, it waits. It lives in the body, in the breath, in the tension you carry without realizing it. Stillness is the invitation for that pain to surface, not to overwhelm you, but to be understood. When everything becomes quiet, something remarkable happens. You begin to notice your inner voice, not the critical one shaped by fear, but the wiser one shaped by truth. This voice does not rush you. It does not shame you. It simply guides. In stillness, you realize that many of the answers you've been searching for externally have always lived within you. Nighttime is one of the most powerful forms of stillness available. The world sleeps, distractions fade, and your mind becomes more open and receptive. This is when healing work happens naturally without force. Your nervous system shifts out of survival mode and into restoration. Your body begins to release what it has been holding all day, and your mind begins to soften its grip on old stories. Healing in stillness does not mean reliving pain or reopening wounds aggressively. It means allowing yourself to feel without judgment. It means sitting with discomfort long enough to realize it will not destroy you. When you stop running from your emotions, they lose their power over you. Acceptance becomes the doorway to peace. Many people fear stillness because they are afraid of what they might feel. But the truth is, what you avoid controls you, and what you face frees you. Stillness teaches you that emotions are temporary visitors, not permanent residents. They rise, they speak, and when acknowledged, they pass. In moments of quiet reflection, you may feel sadness, gratitude, relief, or clarity, sometimes all at once. This emotional movement is not weakness. It is healing in motion. Each breath you take in stillness tells your body that it is safe now. Safety is essential for healing because a body that feels safe can finally let go. Over time, practicing stillness changes the way you experience life. You become less reactive and more grounded. You respond from awareness rather than impulse. You stop needing constant validation because you have learned how to listen to yourself. Your confidence becomes quieter but stronger. Stillness also reconnects you to purpose. When the noise fades, you begin to sense what truly matters. You gain clarity about relationships, boundaries, and direction. You understand that rest is not laziness and silence is not weakness. They're powerful acts of self-respect. So allow yourself these moments of quiet, especially before sleep. Let the stillness hold you. Let it heal what words cannot reach. Because within silence, your body restores, your mind resets, and your soul remembers who you are. One of the quietest, yet heaviest burdens people carry is the belief that they are behind in life. Behind in success, behind in relationships, behind in confidence, behind in purpose. This belief often forms without permission, shaped by comparison, social expectations, and timelines that were never meant to define your journey. Yet this thought, if left unchallenged, can slowly drain joy from the present moment. Life does not move in straight lines, and growth does not follow a universal schedule. Every person unfolds in their own time, through their own lessons, and for their own reasons. When you compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20, you forget that their story includes struggles you may never see. Becoming is a process, not a race, and no amount of rushing can replace the wisdom gained through experience. The feeling of being behind on comes from focusing too much on where you think you should be instead of honoring where you are. But where you are is not a mistake. It is a necessary stage of development. A pause, every delay, every detour is shaping skills, awareness, and resilience that will later serve you in ways you cannot yet imagine. Becoming means you are learning even when it feels uncomfortable. It means you are shedding old versions of yourself that no longer fit. Growth requires release, and release often feels like loss before it feels like freedom. You may be outgrowing beliefs, relationships, or dreams that once felt right, and that can be confusing. But confusion is not failure, it is transition. When you tell yourself you are behind, your body responds with stress, urgency, and self-doubt. But when you tell yourself you are becoming, your nervous system relaxes. You allow room for patience, self-trust, and curiosity. You begin to see challenges not as signs of inadequacy, but as invitations to evolve. There is wisdom in your timing. Some lessons must be learned slowly, deeply, and personally. Some strength can only be built through waiting. If things had happened sooner, you may not have been ready to hold them. If success had arrived earlier, it might not have lasted. Preparation often looks like delay from the outside, but from within is alignment and progress. Becoming also means honoring your current season. There are seasons for building, seasons for resting, seasons for learning, and seasons for expansion. Trying to harvest in a season meant for planting leads to frustration. When you understand this, you stop fighting life and start flowing with it. At night, when doubts creep in and the mind begins to replay comparisons, remind yourself gently that you are not late. You are exactly where you need to be to become who you are meant to be. Your path is unfolding in a way that serves your growth, not your ego. With time, you will look back and realize that what felt like being behind was actually protection. It was life giving you space to heal, to mature, to develop depth. You will see how every step, even the uncertain ones, led you closer to yourself. So release the pressure of imagined deadlines. Release the belief that you must hurry to be worthy. You are not behind, you are becoming, and becoming takes time, patience, and trust. Many people unknowingly live their present lives through the lens of their past. Old experiences, mistakes, losses, and disappointments quietly shape how they see themselves and what they believe is possible. The past has a powerful voice, especially when it has not been healed. But while your past may have influenced you, it was never meant to imprison you. What happened to you is not the same as who you are. Experiences leave impressions, but they do not determine your worth. Pain may have shaped your awareness, sharpened your sensitivity, or strengthened your resilience, but it does not get to decide your future. When you continue to identify with past wounds, you give them authority over your present moment. Your power lies in your awareness. The moment you recognize that you are more than your history, you reclaim control. Awareness allows you to observe the past without reliving it. Instead of asking, what did this happen to me? You begin to ask, what did this teach me? This shift transforms pain into insight and suffering into wisdom. The mind often returns to the past because it is familiar, even if it was painful. Familiar pain can feel safer than unfamiliar peace. But growth requires courage, the courage to step beyond old narratives and choose a new relationship with your memories. Healing does not mean erasing the past. It means changing how it lives within you. Your past does not hold power on its own. It only has the power you continue to give it through repeated thoughts, emotional reactions, and self-judgment. When you revisit old mistakes with compassion instead of shame, their grip begins to loosen. When you forgive yourself for choices made from survival, not clarity, you free your energy to move forward. Nighttime reflection is a powerful space to release the past. As the mind quiets, you can gently remind yourself that you are no longer the person who went through those experiences. You have grown, you have learned, you have evolved. The strength you carry today was built through what you survived yesterday. It is also important to understand that your past can become a source of strength if you allow it. Every challenge you faced required you to adapt, to endure, to continue. These qualities did not disappear, they became part of you. When you recognize this, your story shifts from one of damage to one of depth. Your power increases when you stop resisting your past and start integrating it. Integration means honoring what was without letting it control what is. It means allowing yourself to feel without staying stuck. The more you accept your history, the less it defines you. True power is not loud or aggressive. It is calm, grounded, and rooted in self-trust. It comes from knowing that no matter what you've been through, you are still here, still growing, still capable of creating something meaningful. That realization changes how you show up in the world. So tonight, release the identity built on pain. Release the belief that your past limits you. You are not your mistakes, your losses, or your trauma. You are the awareness that survived them. And in that awareness, your power lives quietly, steadily, and fully. Gratitude is often misunderstood as a simple expression of politeness or a surface-level emotion reserved for moments when life feels easy. In reality, gratitude is a powerful inner state that reshapes the way you experience your life. It is not about ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It is about choosing awareness over resistance. When practiced intentionally, gratitude becomes the gateway through which lasting change enters. The human mind is naturally trained to scan for what is missing, what is wrong, or what could go wrong. This survival-based focus once kept people safe. But in modern life, it often keeps them anxious, dissatisfied, and disconnected from the present moment. Gratitude gently interrupts this pattern. It shifts attention from scarcity to sufficiency, from lack to presence. When you acknowledge what is already working in your life, even in small ways, your nervous system begins to relax. A relaxed nervous system creates space for clarity, creativity, and emotional balance. This is why gratitude is not just emotional, it is physiological. Your body responds to appreciation with calm, and calm is the foundation for meaningful change. Gratitude also changes perception. Two people can live the same life circumstances, yet experience them completely differently based on what they focus on. When you train your mind to notice blessings, opportunities, and lessons, you begin to see options where you once saw obstacles. This shift does not remove challenges, but it changes how you meet them. Practicing gratitude at night is especially powerful. Before sleep, the mind becomes less analytical and more receptive. Reflecting on moments of gratitude during this time sends a clear message to the subconscious. Life is supportive, growth is happening, and you are safe. Over time, this message reshapes your emotional baseline. Gratitude also deepens self-worth. When you appreciate your own efforts, progress, and resilience, you stop waiting for external validation. You begin to recognize that your value is not dependent on achievements alone, but on your willingness to keep showing up. This internal recognition builds quiet confidence. It is important to understand that gratitude does not mean settling or giving up on improvement. Instead, it creates a strong emotional foundation from which growth can occur. You can be grateful for where you are while still desiring more. In fact, gratitude makes progress more sustainable because it is rooted in respect rather than dissatisfaction. Over time, consistent gratitude transforms relationships. When you focus on what others can contribute instead of what they lack, compassion increases, communication softens, even boundaries become clearer because they are set from self, respect rather than resentment. Gratitude also reconnects you with purpose. When you slow down enough to appreciate the present, you realize that life is not just about reaching destinations, but about experiencing moments. This awareness brings meaning to everyday actions and peace to ordinary days. So tonight before sleep, choose one thing, one moment, or one breath to appreciate. Let that feeling settle into your body. Let it remind you that change does not always begin with effort. Sometimes it begins with recognition. Gratitude opens the door and life responds by meeting you halfway. As this day comes to an end, remember that transformation does not always arrive through dramatic moments or sudden breakthroughs. More often, it begins quietly in the stillness of the night when you choose to listen to yourself with honesty and compassion, the thoughts you carry into sleep, the emotions you allow to soften, and the awareness you practice are all shaping the life you are becoming. You have learned that your thoughts matter, that stillness heals, that your timing is sacred, that your past does not define your power, and that gratitude opens the door to change. These are not just ideas to understand, they are practices to return to night after night. Consistency in these small moments creates the biggest shifts. Each time you choose gentler thoughts, you teach your mind safety. Each time you sit in stillness, you allow your body to release. Each time you trust your journey, you reclaim peace. Each time you honor your growth, you step into your power. And each time you practice gratitude, you align with the life meant for you. Let this message be a reminder that you do not need to fix yourself before you rest. You do not need to carry tomorrow's worries into tonight. Your only responsibility right now is to breathe, to let go, and to trust the process unfolding within you. So as you close your eyes, make this your quiet promise to listen more deeply, to be kinder to yourself, and to return to these words whenever you need grounding. Because when you end day with intention, you begin your life with purpose. Sleep peacefully, knowing that even in rest, you are transforming.